Hello and welcome back to Bookish. It's Tuesday, so I'm here with another tag. This is the Finally Fall tag, which I saw that Shawn, the Book Maniac, did over on his channel. And I thought, I did this last year. I want to do it again. He's tagged everybody. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm tagging everybody. This is a tag that's been around for some time, and lots of people do it annually. And so this is my second year, so I'm going to do it annually. It just came back from a delicious sushi dinner with my son, so I have no idea what the lighting in here is like. For all I know, my face is completely gray, and you can only see behind me. We're going to go with it one way or the other. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. So, as with most tags, I think there are 10 or 11 prompts, so we're just going to work our way through those prompts as quickly as possible. And this time, I'm going to try to tell the truth, because I went back and watched my Finally Fall tag video from last year, and I think I'm a liar. I think I just straight out lied in that video. And I'm going to be not quite such a jerk and do something in this video this year that I refused to do last year. So here we go. The first prompt says, in the fall the air is crisp and clear. Name a book with a vivid setting. I'm going to go with Plain Song by Kent Harif. This is a book that I reread this year, kind of at the urging of Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading and Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Verse, because the first time I read it I didn't like it that much, and this time I read it and I liked it much more. And the setting, the description of this kind of small town on the Great Plains of the United States is just beautiful, and the community, the town, become almost like another character. And so this is a beautiful book, a really vivid setting. So there you go, prompt number one. A book with a vivid setting. I'm going to go with Plain Song by Kent Harif. Prompt number two says, nature is beautiful but dying. Name a book that's beautiful but sad. Well, that book is Lonesome Dove. I forgot to get my copy of Lonesome Dove off the shelf, but I can't think of another book that's made me cry as much as Lonesome Dove did, and that is just kind of a beautiful description of friendship, obligation, relationships. It's just a great book. One of those books where if that's the only book you ever wrote in your whole life, I think you would have to be satisfied that you had done something great. Prompt number three says, fall is back. It says fall is back to school. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something. Last year, sometime last year, maybe before Christmas, I think, so probably, not last calendar year, I saw Through Two Doors at Once, The Elegant Experiment That Captures the Enigma of Our Quantum Reality by an author whose name I'm not going to try to pronounce. I saw this as one of the books that came in Steve Donahue's mail, and I thought, I like reading about physics and science because this is something I ignored in high school. And what this book taught me was the origin of the many worlds theory in physics. So this was a pretty good read. I have to admit, the math and the science got over my head after about the first 8 chapters, I think, but it was just really good, informative, and I liked it. Prompt number 4 says, in order to stay warm, it's important to spend time with friends and family. Name a fictional group, fictional family, or group of friends that you'd want to join in and be a part of. And I thought I would do something I don't think I've ever done here on my channel, and that is positively say something positive about a John Steinbeck novel. I happen to think John Steinbeck is at his best in the short form, and Cannery Row is just hysterical, it's funny. The kind of group of, I'm just going to say, losers who are depicted in here seem to enjoy each other's company so much and have a good time and have fun at one another's expense without ever being too mean-spirited. Really like this book. My favorite Steinbeck, by the way. Prompt number 5 says, colorful leaves are piling up. Show us a pile of books with fall-colored spines. This is what I refused to do last year. I just basically said, I'm not doing that when I got to this point. So I thought, to make amends for being such a pompous jerk, I would do that. I would actually make a stack of books. Now, this will be the first time on my channel where I've held up a whole stack of books, so I'm probably not going to do it right. But here's my stack of books with fall-colored spines. If you notice carefully, they're all Balzac novels. So I just thought, you know what? Most of my Balzac novels have kind of fall-colored spines, black, gray, gold, red, a little orange, and some green. I'm just going to take all the Balzac novels off my shelf, and I'm going to use those. So there you go. I've done prompt number 5, Shawn. Sorry for being a jerk last year. Prompt number 6 says, fall is the perfect time for storytelling. By the fireside, name a book in which someone tells a story. I'm going to go with Rings of Saturn by W.G. Sebald. One of the great things about Sebald's writing in his books is it's hard to tell where fiction and nonfiction begins The narrator of this book tells his own story of his walks through the English countryside and his exploration of a really specific area of England. But he also tells the story and the lives of other people who lived in that part of England. And in some way or another, almost kind of like by magic, you see the connections and the interwoven nature of those stories. So The Rings of Saturn by W.G. Sebald, that would be my choice for a book in which someone tells a story. Prompt number 7 says the darks are getting, not the darks, the nights are getting darker to share a creepy read. And so I'm going to go with another Balzac novel, and that is my least favorite Balzac, which is The Wild Ass's Skin, which essentially tells the story of a skin from a wild ass, which I think is covered in writing, which seems to carry with it the magical power to grant someone's wishes. The more the main character is in contact with and uses that skin, the worse his life gets and the more cruel he is to the people around him. It's pretty creepy, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's my choice for a creepy read. Prompt number 8 says the days are getting colder. So to name a short, heartwarming read, I'm going to go with The Number One Ladies Detective Agency by Alexander McCall Smith. This is theoretically a set of a novel which contains stories in which a female detective in Botswana, whose first name is Precious, solves mysteries, serious and less serious. And I just found this charming without being cloying or too sentimental. I really just thought this was kind of charming and a heartwarming story in some ways. So that was my choice. I don't have a lot of heartwarming books on my shelf, by the way. Prompt number 9 says fall returns every year. Name a book you would like to, a favorite you'd like to return to. And so this year I chose Nicholson Baker's A Box of Matches. This is not necessarily fiction, even though the main character's name is not Nicholson Baker, but it really kind of tells the story of Nicholson Baker and I think 30-something mornings of his life in which he wakes up in the fall and he starts a fire and he makes coffee. And he just tells you kind of what happens during the day. And again, I don't know why, but there's something really kind of, I don't know, interesting in that. There's something that makes me feel like there are connections in that. There's just something, I think, fundamentally that appeals to human nature about essentially reading these stories about this guy who just tells you what he did every day, every morning when he wakes up. So I'm going to reread that sometime soon. Prompt number 10 says fall is a perfect time for cozy reading. To name your cozy reading accessories. Last year I claimed I didn't have any, and this is not really true. Again, I'm a liar, sorry. I like to drink a nice hot cup of tea in the fall while I'm reading. If it's in the evening or the afternoon, in the morning I really like 1 or 2 cups of really hot black coffee. My daughter got me a pair of hippo socks, which I forgot to bring out here, but I do actually now have a reading blanket. And this is a blanket that my wife, or a quilt actually, that my wife made for me for Christmas last year. And I don't know if you can see because I don't know how good my picture is, but it has fish on it. It has fishing lures all around the edges. And it's just kind of a blanket. It's my fishing blanket, which she made, her quilt, which she made specially for me. And so that's my new cozy reading accessory. So yeah, I do actually have one. Prompt 11 is, of course, to tag some people. You're all tagged. Let me know what you think about my book choices, about my blanket, about my weird t-shirt, which may or may not be clean, about the terrible lighting in here because the sun's going down, because I waited till after dinner to make this video. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching.